Donté Jones was found dead in a park, hanging from a set of monkey bars.
I don't want to see another family to go through this.
Police say the father of three killed himself, but his family believes he was murdered. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. On June 17, 2022, Latina Bedford Dean says that she got a call that no parent should ever get. Her son, Donté Jones, was found dead by a stranger in a park in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. It's an affluent suburb right outside of Philadelphia. It's about 88.1% white, according to U.S. Census data. Dean says that she started asking questions. Bluebell was not an area that he frequented, and his wallet was missing. Dean recalls a conversation she had with her son about a year ago.
He said, "Mom, if anyone ever tell you that I committed suicide, don't believe them. I love life and my family too much."
So when detectives told her Jones hung himself with a military code about an hour away from home, she didn't believe it. She says that she had just spoken with him around 11:40 the night before about having an argument with the mother of his youngest child. What did he tell you that night?
She was saying things and he was like in shock, like, "Why are you trying to make me look like I'm a bad guy? Like, why are you lying? Like, I didn't do that." I said, "Listen, go home." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to go home." He went home, and that was the last time that I heard from him.
The next day, he was dead. This is the statement we got from the Whitpain Township Police Department. It reads, around 7:45 a.m., a resident walking on a trail reported seeing a man leaning against a piece of playground equipment. An officer and paramedic responded immediately and found Mr. Jones unresponsive, and officers found nothing suspicious after conducting a grid search. But his family says there were defensive wounds all over his body. The natural human instinct is to fend somebody off if they're about to hang you.
When we actually finally was able to see identify his body after days of pronouncing my brother dead, it showed that he had multiple bruises on his body. He had a scratch underneath on the side of his neck, coming down on the side. He had marks on his shoulder. He had marks underneath of his arms. He had marks on his side ribs, on the side of his buttocks, and in between his groin. You would think that there would be marks underneath of his throat, and there wasn't any. So what we've seen versus what they're telling us is severely inconsistent.
So there is a possibility that maybe he wasn't even hung. Maybe he was killed before that.
That's
right.
A very strong possibility.
In place there.
Place there.
Yeah.
And you got to think, again, this is Juneteenth weekend. You find a black male dead in a majority all white township on Juneteenth weekend, supposedly hung.
They also say that Jones was about 6'5", and police told them that his feet and flip-flops were still positioned on the ground.
I said, he's taller than a monkey bar, number one. Number two, his weight, that thing would rip. How can someone hang themselves and their feet is still on the ground? And they say, oh, it's possible. No, I don't think so.
This is Wentz Park, where Jones was found. You can see on this map, it's just steps away from the Whitpain Township Police Station. The family asked detectives immediately about cameras in the area.
And he said to me, because, as children in the playground, you really don't want to watch children.
They told her that the only functional camera was not recording and was not being monitored by an officer that morning.
I said, well, how about any other cameras? Oh, we don't have anything on your cameras. I said, so is my son a ghost? How did he get from my house at 11:40 that Thursday to up here? I said, did you run his tag? His easy pass? Oh, he must have came in the back way where there was no cameras. I was like, the back way, no cameras? I got lost trying to get in the front. So he's, as far as I know, and I talk to his friends, he's never been to Bluebell, PA, for nothing.
Dean began to think, why would her son travel an hour from home to an unknown suburban township, park his car near a police station with no cameras, just to commit suicide? She says she also got suspicious when the coroner refused to conduct an autopsy because police that same day ruled his death a suicide. She says to make matters worse as well, police reopened the park to Saturday activities just hours after the body was discovered.
You're not going to make that my son's narrative. My son worked too hard and love life too much to take his life.
You weren't able to check his neck to see if he was hung.
Right.
You were unable to check his wrist to see if he was handcuffed.
The family has been at the park almost every day, and it surely got the town's attention.
And the police chief called my mom on that Saturday morning to apologize to her personally how they handled the case and told her that they are going to do a full investigation.
It's spelled out here in the original police statement that, quote, the investigation is ongoing and the Whitpain Police Department did not report that the investigation is closed, and the investigation will not be closed until the Montgomery County Coroner's Office releases its report with the cause and manner of death.
You know, they told us directly to our face that it was a suicide the first day on Friday. And then when we got more people the next day to come up there and we started asking more questions, and they see that we had a bunch of our family and friends come up there with us, behind us and supporting us, then it turns into, well, right now it's not closed no more, suicide.
Right.
We're going to actually do an investigation.
The family says that Jones loved his 3 children and worked for an airline company after returning home 2 years ago from serving in the Army.
If you could fight for your country, you go put your life on the line for your country. But yet in America, it doesn't seem like you could do the same thing. And that's not right. It's not right. My brother didn't deserve this at all.
Jones's family did hire a private medical examiner to conduct an independent autopsy, which will take about 6 weeks. Now, we did also reach out to the Whitpain Township Police Department for a detailed timeline of what occurred. We're still waiting to hear back. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.